To begin, I'm going to get everyone to lay down on your back. So you can take your little pillow or whatever block you were sitting on, and you can put it under your head. Lay on your back with your feet mat width apart. You tuck your shoulders under. Your palms are facing up. You take some nice deep breaths, breathing down to the tips of your toes. Longer exhales. With each exhale, feeling the weight of your body melting into the mat. You can bring your feet, so your feet now rest on the mat and your knees knocked together. Placing your right hand on your belly and your left hand on your heart. Feeling your belly rise and fall. Checking in with your body, scanning any areas you feel a little tension. And bringing your breath into that area. Hug your knees in towards your belly, wrapping your arms around your legs. You can roll your back from side to side, massaging that lower back. And bring your legs just a little bit further away, getting down lower into your sacrum area. And then giving yourself a nice little squeeze, a good morning hug to self. And your left leg can come straight on the mat. So it's as if it's in a standing position, even though it's resting on the mat. Interlace your fingers around your right knee. Tuck your shoulders under and pull your right knee towards your chest. Start rolling your right leg in clockwise position, lubricating the joint, maybe noticing any crunchy bits it's making, and then counterclockwise. And you can relax the right leg onto the mat and hug your left knee now in towards your chest, interlacing your fingers around your knee. Your right leg is in a strong, engaged standing position, so it's nice and activated. And squeeze your left knee in towards your chest, tucking your shoulders under in case they've risen. And start making Slow circles with your hip joint now on the left. And the opposite direction, maybe getting the circles a little bigger. You're going to grab your strap here now so your feet can be planted on the mat. With your strap, bring your right foot into the strap so that the bottom of your right foot will now point up towards the ceiling. Your right leg is straight. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly move the left leg down onto the mat. And flex your toes down towards your face, waking up the back of the calf muscles. And point your toes towards the ceiling. Go with your breath. Inhale, flex your toes down towards your face. Then you can just pause. Keep your left leg slightly engaged. Tuck your shoulders under. Breathe into the back of your hamstrings. They might feel a little tight this morning. And bringing the strap into your right hand. I like to wrap the strap around my hand. You can place your left hand on your lower belly, and that will help you gauge to make sure your hips are staying flat on the mat. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly start drawing your leg over towards the right. And breathing into any areas you feel any tension. Maybe you feel the stretch on your inner thigh. A nice deep breath here. And on your next exhale, you can slowly start drawing your leg back up to center. And then bring the strap into your left hand. Your right hand can come out into the capital letter T with your palm facing up. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, draw your leg over to the left. Feeling the stretch on the outside of your leg, maybe into your glute. And breathing into any areas you hold tension. One more inhale, and as you exhale, you can slowly start bringing your leg back up to center. And then we'll do the opposite side. So the left foot will come into the strap, and your right foot will come down onto the mat. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly start lowering your right leg onto the mat. Keeping your right leg slightly engaged, and pull a little bit on the left leg on the strap, just feeling enough of a stretch into the back of your hamstring. You don't want to overdo it, so nice and gentle. You can point your toes down towards your face, stretching into the back of your calf. And working with your breath, point your toes towards the ceiling, stretching the front of your ankle, top of your foot. Do that a couple times, flexing and pointing. And then you can find stillness, maybe pulling the strap just a little bit more. Your left leg is slightly engaged, so is your right. Tuck your shoulders under in case they've started to creep up towards your ears. And breathing into the back of your hamstrings, the back of your leg. You can bring the strap into your left hand now. Your right hand on your lower belly, and that just again helps you stabilize your hips. You want your hips to stay flat on the mat. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, slowly start drawing your leg over to the left. Inhales, pause, and exhales, move. And breathing into any areas you feel the stretch. One more inhale. And on your next exhale, slowly start drawing your leg back up to center. And your strap will now come in to the right hand. Your left arm comes out to your side with your palm facing up. Your right leg is slightly engaged. Take a nice deep breath. And on your exhale, slowly start drawing your left leg over to the right. Inhales, we pause. Exhale, we move. And breathing into the areas you feel the stretch along the outside of your leg, maybe into your lower back, your glute. One more inhale, and on your next exhale, you can start drawing your leg back up to center. And bring both feet into your strap. And flex and point your toes just a little, maybe noticing any cracks your ankles are making. Stretching into the back of the calf with your feet, the bottoms of your feet pointing up towards the ceiling, your lower back pressing into the mat. Then pointing your toes. And you're just going to slowly start drawing your feet out wide. So the bottoms of your feet will still be up towards the ceiling. Your toes are flexing towards you. You have a nice stretch on the inside of your legs. You can maybe rock a little side to side, like a little teeter-totter. That feels good. And find some stillness. Take a nice deep breath into the area you feel the stretch. And as you exhale, you can start pulling the strap together so that your feet come together. And then you can just put the strap to the side. Your feet can come onto the mat with your knees knocked together and your feet mat width apart. Put your hands on your belly, you can close your eyes and take a nice inhale. And a slow exhale. And breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And exhale for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause. And just a nice, organic, natural breath. Now bringing your left foot so it's more center, you're going to bring your right ankle and cross it over your left knee, forming the figure 4 with your legs. bring your left leg, so you're going to draw that left knee in towards your chest, and then with the space you've created between your legs, bring your right hand between that space. You can either interlace your fingers behind your hamstrings or around your shin, whatever feels most comfortable to you, depending on your flexibility. Keep your right foot flexed, and that's going to protect your right knee. Your lower back presses into the mat and your shoulders are tucked under. And just tuck your chin a little bit too, in case your head started to tilt back a little. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, draw that left knee towards your chest, feeling the nice stretch into your hips. And breathing into any areas that you feel any tension. This is a nice stretch that you can do while you're sitting, whether you're at a desk or you're just sitting for a long period of time. It can sit on your chair and just cross your foot over your knee and stretch into the hip, opening up the hip joint. Nice deep breath. Maybe rock a little from side to side, again massaging that lower back, taking any tension away, your mind away from the areas of tension. One more inhale, and as you exhale, you can slowly lower that left foot to the mat and bring your right foot down and your knees just tent together with your hands on your lower belly. Take a nice deep breath. One more inhale and a nice loud audible sigh. Now bringing your right foot so it's more centered and your left ankle crosses over your right knee. Draw your right knee towards your chest, keeping your left foot flexed to protect that left knee. Bring your left arm into that little space you've created between your legs and interlace your fingers behind your right leg or around your shin. You can also use your strap here if you need you need more length. One side's usually a little more tight than the other, so don't be too hard on yourself if one side feels a little bit different. Pushing your lower back into the mat. Your shoulders are tucked. Your chin is drawn down just a little. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Left foot is flexed. Feeling your left knee push out towards the wall or your other foot. Breathe into your hip joint, your lower back, your inner thigh, your outer thigh. One more inhale. A nice slow exhale. And then maybe rock side to side if that feels good, massaging the lower back, taking your mind away from the stretch that you feel in your hip. This is a nice prep for the pose we're going to be doing in a little bit, helping open up your hip joint. And find some stillness. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And you can slowly lower your feet to the mat. Your feet mat width apart, your knees knocked together, hands on your lower belly. And take a nice deep breath. One more. And rolling over onto your right side. You're going to bring your knees so that they're tucked up. Your arms come out to your side into the capital letter, like T, I guess. Your hands will touch, so your palms are together. I like the little pillow under my head here to support my neck. Slowly draw your fingers, so your top hand, your left hand, slowly trace your fingers up along the floor, over your head, coming all the way around you, feeling a nice stretch in your pecs or your shoulder joint. Maybe pause at any areas you feel a little sticky, a little more tension, and just breathe into that area. And then on your exhale, you can continue to move. Your hands will trace up along over your hips, along your thigh legs, and back down on the floor. I'm going to do this a few times, just wakening up the shoulder joint, the chest. And the upper spine. And one more. Nice and slow. Again, pausing at any areas you notice a little more tension and breathing into them. Maybe it's your pecs, maybe it's parts of your shoulder joint, maybe it's part of your spine. And then when your palms are together, you can just pause and take a nice deep inhale. And bring your right hand so it kind of tucks closer to your head. Straighten your right leg a little. And what we're going to do is stretch the top leg. So you're going to bring your left hand and grab the top of your left foot. And you're going to pull that your heel towards your glute, stretching the front of your leg. So into your quads and your hip joint. Feeling a nice morning wake up stretch to that area of the body. This is a nice stretch I like to do regularly throughout the day. Just when I'm standing, I'll hold the back of a chair or the wall and just stretch the front of my hip flexors. We get pretty tight in there when we're sitting for long periods of time or driving, or even when we sleep, we kind of sleep with our hip flexors flexed. One more inhale. And exhale. You can slowly release your leg. And we're going to do the other side. So coming on so that you'll be on your left side. And your knees are just slightly tucked in. Your arms are out in front of you, so your palms are touching. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start drawing your fingers along the floor up over your head, reaching all the way behind you, stretching into your pecs. And back over your leg. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Pausing at any areas you feel any tension, breathing in, maybe to the shoulder joint, Shoulders can get a little sticky. And then once you're done, your palms can just rest together. And take a nice deep inhale here. And a slow exhale. And then slowly lower that bottom leg so it's not straight, but it's not super flexed. And you're going to bring your right hand and grab that right ankle, bringing your heel in towards your glute, pulling that leg just so that you feel a nice stretch into the front of your leg, into the front of your thigh, your hip joint. And breathing into the area you feel the most tension. One more inhale. And slow, long exhale. And you can bring your legs together. You're going to come up onto your hands and knees into a cat-cow position. So tabletop. Whether you want to keep your toes tucked or keep your laces flat, you can do whatever is most comfortable. Your legs are hip width apart and your hands are underneath your shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start rounding your back like a black cat on Halloween, looking in towards your belly button. Inhale, you're going to do the opposite direction so that your belly starts dropping towards the mat and your eyes look up towards the ceiling. And just a couple breaths here, really nice way to wake up the spine. This is one of my favorite poses I do as soon as I wake up, just to wake up the spine, wake up the body using my breath. It's a nice stretch into the front of your throat. And one more each breath. So one more inhale. And one more exhale. And then meeting in a neutral spine. You're going to walk your hands just a little bit towards the top of your mat. Tuck your toes and push yourself up into a downward dog. And just walk your dog, stretching out those legs, bringing your heels down to the floor, one up, one down, just a nice gentle stretch. Maybe swaying your hips from side to side, getting that body wakened up just a little bit more. And looking between your hands, lift your right leg up behind you and swing your leg so that your right knee is going to come to the outside of your right wrist and your left foot is going to come to the left wrist. Ish. Might be at an angle depending on your flexibility and the way your joints are designed. Check behind you to see if your left foot is directly behind you. You don't want it out to the side. Here, this might feel nice if you want to take a little block or a little pillow and put it under that right hip. Try to center your hip so the weight isn't more on one side than it is the other. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, you can slowly start lowering yourself down onto your forearm. If this feels good, you can stay here, breathing into your hip joint. This is a pretty powerful hip opener. Or if you'd like, you can come all the way down so that your head rests on your forearms or maybe on a block or a pillow. Keep your right foot flexed a little again, just to protect that right knee. Take some nice deep inhales. The hips are known to hold a lot of emotion. So sometimes when you're stretching in this area, you can start to feel a little bit annoyed. Like, how long is she going to keep me in this pose? Bring your breath back to your focus. So breathe into your hip joint and just know that we're not going to be here for long. One more inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And on your next exhale, slowly start walking your hands back up so that we're going to push into our hands, tuck your left toes under and bring yourself back up into a downward facing dog and walk your dog, bringing some blood flow back into that hip joint, swaying your hips from side to side if that feels good. Maybe bringing that right leg up into the air and opening up the hip joint a little bit. Then with both feet back on the mat, you're going to look towards your hands, bringing that left foot now. So your left foot will come to the right wrist and your left knee to the outside of your left wrist. Checking behind you to make sure your right leg is directly behind you and not out to the side. You might want to tuck the block under your hip for a little added support. Now take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly start lowering yourself down. You can rest on your elbows if this feels really good, making any adjustments too that you need. Your left foot is flexed to protect that right knee. Your abs are engaged. And you can stay here or you can lower yourself all the way down with your head resting on your forearms or maybe on your fists. If they're in little, you make fists and stack your fists. And breathing into your hip joint. Listening to the sound of your breath. I like the way it sounds like an ocean. It kind of brings me peace when I'm starting to think of how tense my hips feel. And you listen to the sound of your breath, it can give you the visualization of maybe lying on the beach, looking out at the beautiful sea. One more inhale. And as you exhale, you can slowly start walking your hands back up. And you're going to bring yourself back up into the downward facing dog. Walk that dog, just bringing the circulation back into that hip. Maybe opening your leg so your left leg comes in the air just a little to stretch out the front of that hip. And then you can come back down onto a tabletop. And we're gonna sit right back down and lie back down on our backs. Okay. So bring your feet so that your feet are mat width apart, your knees are tented together. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale. Shift your hips over to the right. You're going to bring your knees. So now that your knees are going to drop over towards the left. Your arms will come out into the capital letter T. Both arms out with your palms facing up. And you're going to look over your right shoulder. This is a really nice spinal stretch. If this feels uncomfortable, you can always straighten your lower leg. And you can place something under that top leg, or you can let it just lay on the floor, or you can also place that little pillow or a little block between your knees. And breathe into your spine. One more inhale. And as you exhale, bring your right leg first and then your left leg, and you'll come back laying on your back. Your arms can still stay out with your palms facing up. You're just going to shift your hips over to the left and drop your knees over to the right, making any adjustments that you need. And this time you're going to look over your left shoulder if that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, just keep your head in a neutral position. Listening to your body, honoring any areas that don't feel good and areas that do feel good. Using your breath to breathe into your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. One more breath. And on your next exhale, you can slowly bring your top leg up first and then your bottom leg, shifting so your body's in neutral right on the mat. Your legs are going to straighten out. This is a good time too now if you'd like to grab any socks, a little blanket, maybe a little pillow for under your head or a little cloth for over your eyes. We're going to come into our final pose of Shavasana, the resting pose. Going to lay with your feet mat width apart, and you can either have your arms out to your side so they're off the mat and your palms are facing up, or you can place your right hand on your lower belly and your left hand over your heart. Whatever feels the most comfortable to you. Maybe make any adjustments you need, tucking those shoulder blades under, tucking your chin, adjusting your lower back. Breathe down to the tips of your toes. And on your exhales, feel the weight of your body melt into the table, or into the floor. And breathing into your ankles, the front of your shins, the back of your calves. And breathing into your knees, the back of your knees, around your knees, the front of your knees. And breathing into your thighs, your quads, your hamstrings, the insides of your leg muscles. And breathing into your hip joints, your glutes, your lower back. And breathing up your spine, starting with your lower spine, your middle spine, the space between your shoulder blades. And breathing into the back of your neck, feeling it get a little heavier, your shoulders softening into the floor, the weight of the back of your arms, breathing down into your forearms, your wrists, your fingers. Breathing into your jaw, feeling your tongue soft behind your teeth. Breathe into the space of your eyes, in between your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead. Feeling the weight of your head on the mat. Slowly deepening your breath, bringing more awareness to your body. Deeper inhales, longer exhales. And start wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe making small circles, your ankles, your wrists. And then rolling over to your right side, take a nice deep breath. And on your own time, pushing yourself up into a seated position. And bringing your fingertips together with your thumbs touching your heart in gratitude. From my heart to yours, namaste.